Hello, my name is Matthew, and when I have a day off from work, I do my very best to not leave the house. Through the work week, I try to make sure that I run all of my errands, do all of the things that I need to do, go to the stores, the grocery shop, um, everything to create a situation that on my day off, when I don't have an alarm clock set in the morning, I can stay at home at peace with my cats. And my favorite thing to do, of course, which is going to be no surprise, is to read. I absolutely love my days off. I look forward to making a cup of coffee and sitting down with my book and uh, reading for an hour or two in the morning and having a bite to eat, spending time with the cats, um, and then having a whole afternoon um, reading. At this point, one of my favorite things is reading in bed in the afternoon. Both of my cats right next to me, Daphne squeezed into the crook of my arm, Andy usually laying right against my leg, and I'll read the whole time that they sleep, and they can sleep for hours. And then maybe do things around the house. My days off are the time that I make these videos, and then to read in the evening. And I love it and look forward to it. And I read every day. So a few days ago, I had a day off, and I thought it was noteworthy. I had a day off, and I basically didn't read at all. Um, I already knew that I had to leave the house. I had to go to the eyeglass store to pick up my new eyeglasses. I got two pairs. Um, and I spent the morning cleaning. I live in a tiny house, so it's important to keep things tidy. And um, I have a regular routine, things that I do every single day to make sure that the house is in order. I sweep up, I clean the counters, I make sure the cat's area is nice and clean, the shower's clean, things like that. But this past day off, I did one of those big cleanings where all of the furniture is getting moved, is getting turned upside down, the dishes are pulled out of the cupboards, every surface is getting wiped by some um, disinfectant or broom or vacuum, and I did a full cleanup of the house. A lot of cat hair. And I did this until it was time to leave. I wanted to get to the eyeglass store as soon as they opened. That way I could get home as soon as possible. I had a goal in mind of reading for the afternoon. And while I was cleaning, I had a former coworker contact me and say that she would like to stop by the house. She lives about 2 hours away and works just a few minutes away from where I live. She has this tremendous commute, about an hour and a half commute each way. And she contacted me and said that she put in her 2 weeks notice and just wanted to say hello and catch up before she has no reason to be back into this area. And I went off to pick up my eyeglasses. I got these, which are transitions. So in the sunlight and the sunshine, they turn into sunglasses. And then I'll show you my other pair. I'll take these off. And then I have these. And you might notice that they are exactly the same glasses as the ones that I always wear. And that's because I like the way they look. And 5 or 6 7 years ago, um, my old pair, um, I love them so much, I bought two frames and just uh, hid them away. And I thought, someday I'll have to get new glasses. I'm not sure if the frames will be available, and I'll just have them ready to go. And the reason I got two pairs of glasses instead of one, I would normally just buy one pair because they're expensive, is because my trip to Spain, and I have terrible, terrible vision. Um, I'm handicapped without eye correction, and I thought if I'm in another country and for some reason I break my eyeglasses, I will have a spare. It's probably good practice to just have two pairs always anyway, but now I do. And my eyes are so bad that I have to order special lenses. They're high density lenses. If I didn't have the high density lenses, which takes thick lenses and makes them thinner, I would have those bottle cap, super thick lenses. And so I pick up my eyeglasses. They're the same frames, the same prescription, and the lenses are noticeably different from one pair to the other. I'll see if I can show you. Now, see, I can't see right now, so I don't know if you can see how thick that is compared to these. Again, I'm blind right now, so I can't see. And there's an obvious disparity. There's an obvious difference between how thick they are. They're supposed to be identical. And the woman at the eyeglass store recognizes that there is a difference, and says that she'll talk to the manager when he comes in. I collect the glasses because I just want them, and the woman says, we'll give you a call. So I get home, I have my new eyeglasses. This pair is perfect. It's exactly what I had expected for how the frames are going to look, how the transitions work, the thickness of the lenses. And I pull down the driveway, and my good friend Ben is in his wood shop, which is, I live on his property, so it's just right in front of my house. And Ben goes there to work. He has commissions and projects, and he's married, and he's a father, so I very much respect the time that he spends over there, because it's not free fun time, it's work time. But I had my new eyeglasses, so I did one of the pop-ins where you just go over and knock on the door, and I'd say, I'll just be a second, but I want to show you I got my new eyeglasses. And of course we end up talking for an hour, because we always talk for an hour. Make sure he's doing well. I have the day off, so I'm doing well. And almost as soon as I'm done talking with Ben, I now have an appointment with my old coworker who shows up here, and we sit down and talk for maybe 40 minutes. They were leaving, and I said, "This is the last time we'll ever see each other." I said, "Like, seriously? You really think so?" And I thought, like, a 2-hour drive will never happen. So I saw a person I'll never see again. And I get a phone call from the eyeglass store, and it's this manager. Now, of course, I am fully prepared to be disappointed and frustrated with whatever I'm going to hear. I have two identical glasses. One's obviously different than the other. I'm going to hear some explanation about why that's the case. And instead, this manager says everything that I could possibly want to hear, and says there's two different ways of making these really high dense glasses, they can make them this way, which gives a really high curve. There's another way which has a less of a curve, and they made they made the lenses this way for the one pair and this other way for the other pair. And I just say, and he's saying kind of technical things that I can't express. And I say, well, what does all that mean in practical terms? And he said, well, one was made differently than the other. And he says, we've already reordered the correct ones, the ones that you had paid for. And when those lenses come in, we'll notify you. You can bring your frames back and we'll put in the right lenses. Easy as could be. I wasn't even sure I was going to get a phone call, let alone a phone call with such good news. And finally, I recently started a free trial of HBO Max, and I watched the Justice League, the Zack Snyder director cut, 4 hour long edition of the Justice League, which is comprised of Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg. So it's all of the DC comic superheroes as seen through the mind of Zack Snyder. I was interested in seeing it. I had no interest in seeing from the trailers of the other cut that was in theaters, but there was something of an oddity about this re-release and the whole story that went behind it for this extended, a 4 hour long movie. And it's not great. There's very little, I was given very little payoff with a 4 hour long commitment. There's supervillains, but it all hinges on a MacGuffin. It has these mother boxes, which are literal boxes. There's 3 of them, and aliens or something have spread them around the world. And if they all come together, and if the evil villain collects them all, it means that the world is doomed. And that's about an hour and a half of the movie. And of course, as it's going along, the mother boxes are being collected, and then we spend time with all of the superheroes. And unfortunately, they all seem to have like the same. They all seem to have the same personality. There's very little dynamic, other than they all kind of argue with each other. You don't really get a feeling that Superman's values are different than Batman's values. Things like that. They also all seem to have the same power set. For the most part, they can kind of all fly in various ways. They're all super strong. They're all super fast. They're all invincible. And at the end, they save the day, but they all save the day. When I think about, I only watched it a few days ago, and I think about what were those set piece moments, and there are none. I can't remember. Superman stopping a plane or Aquaman doing something. It felt fairly generic. The cinematography was beautiful. Zack Snyder has a way of framing a shot, but very little story, not much in the way of character development. Again, for a 4 hour long movie, that seems a little disappointing. And that brought me to the end of the day. I go to bed very early. I wake up very early. I opened up a book and maybe read a page and spent the whole day. a day without reading. Uh, I'm not sure if this is interesting at all. I tend to think not. But uh, thank you for watching. Leave a comment if you would like, and take care.